Hey everybody, and welcome back to the second episode here from NCO. We're actually down here in the shopping district building a community building. So in today's episode, we're going to spend some time talking about texturizing and adding little details to make your buildings pop. The context that we're going to be talking about it is going to be about city buildings, but really a lot of the things we're going to talk about can be applied to a whole wide range of buildings. It does look pretty nice right now, but obviously, as you can see, I've added some window boxes here in the middle, and we're going to go through and add in window boxes on the two levels on both of the fronts. And then if we swoop down here, we're going to add some here to the side as well. And another thing, and this part is a little specific to city builds, people rarely think about fire escapes. And you'll notice I added a nice fire escape here in the back. But yeah, we're going to take the window boxes and we're going to wrap them right around the building and have them on the second and third floors. And then we're going to leave the first floor windows bare because they're pretty close to the ground. So it wouldn't make sense for them to have window boxes. And in a lot of cases, it would look a little odd because we already have these little like bush things here with the spruce leaves. So in the upper windows, we're going to be using mostly azalea leaves, flowering and the non-flowering variety. So I'm going to get the rest of these window boxes in, and then we'll take a look at the interior and maybe swoop around the building and just see how much better it looks. Alrighty everybody, so we've got the window frames in here in the back and on both the sides, and we finished up the front. Let's land on this acacia real quick. I did end up changing up the sides. I opted to do just half slabs instead of on the front, and in the middle I did slabs and stairs. And I figure a little more variation in how the window boxes look, it's never a bad thing. And like I said earlier, you can really tell the difference once you get the window boxes in. It really does add a pop of color, and it also adds more depth and variation and definition to the way the build looks. And now all we need to do is texturize the walls, and you're going to be really surprised at how more alive the building's going to look once it's not just polished granite. And now that we have the texturizing done and we've added a few last minute exterior details like the roof cap, and I put a nice glass dome up top, why don't we take to the skies a little bit? We'll talk a little bit more about texturizing, and then we'll go inside and talk about the whole plan for this building. Alrighty, so there it is. I really like how this came out. We'll take a look at that funky looking light thing going on in the ceiling here in a minute. But I do really like how this came out. Let's land on Wolfie's shop. So if you remember what it looked like a couple of seconds ago, before I put the roof cap on and we really finished all of the texturizing on the walls, it really did look pretty bland. But just adding a really simple roof cap to the top and adding in the red terracotta to break up the granite and polished granite look really makes this look more like a finished build. And I'm really, really pleased with how it turned out. So a couple of weeks back, Hype Dog, our admin here on NCO, had came to me about the idea of maybe doing a community development office, and that's where this whole idea came from. So this is going to be the Community Underdevelopment Office, which is a bit of an inside joke. And here on the first floor, we're going to put in a nice little reception area here in the middle. We're going to be building the complaint department in here. I actually did already start the complaint department a little bit. So this is where all complaints will be filed down there. The interior is going to actually solve some real purposes and have some real use for the community as a whole. But we're also going to be working in some snarky, maybe government type employees that are a little surly about their job throughout the building. It should be pretty funny. Another thing that we're going to be adding here on the first floor is over here in the corner, we're going to be doing a help wanted board, and this side will be where community members will put help wanted signs for things that maybe they need to have done at their base and who to contact and yada yada. So that'll be over in this corner. And if we go back over here near the complaint department, over here in this corner, we're going to be doing a community projects board. And over here will be where we list all of the community projects that are currently being worked on and who to contact for like the point person and like what work might need to be done or what resources might be needed. So we wanted to give people a central location so maybe they could list jobs that they need done, or if they want to lend a helping hand to a fellow player or lend a helping hand in a community project. We wanted a nice central location here in the shopping district. That way people knew where to come. And if we come over here, you'll see we've got a little elevator bay. If you take this elevator, it'll bring you up to the second floor, which is the community block archive. And if you take this water elevator up, it'll bring you up to the community lounge and meeting room. So what we'll do first is we'll hop up here to the second floor, and we'll be putting a little desk in here with like a little clerical worker down here. And then this is the block archive. So the idea behind this is we wanted a nice central location where maybe people could drop off resources that they no longer need or might have an overabundance of, and they can bring them here, and then other community members can come and either pick up blocks that they need or drop off other blocks that maybe they want to donate. This is really the meat and potatoes of the community building for me. This is the whole reason why I wanted to do it, is I wanted to have a nice community area where maybe we can help one another and have tons of blocks for people to use if they need stuff to build with. And if we take the water elevator up again, we're up here on the grand third floor with our big tinted glass ceiling dome with our lighting fixture up there. And the idea up here is we're going to put a little cozy sitting area and maybe have a little cozy lounge area over here. And then right down the middle, we're going to put a really big meeting table so we can have big community discussions here, and it'll be flanked with really nice chairs on either side. I really hope you like this type of episode where maybe I talk a little bit more about building theory, like texturizing your walls and adding more details, or architectural theory with like adding roof caps and things along those lines to really make your buildings pop. Because it's a big thing I hear in a lot of Minecraft groups is people will build things and then like beat themselves up because maybe it doesn't look as detailed as they want, or it doesn't look as, fancy or whatever they might have in mind. And a lot of the time it's adding these little things like a roof cap, or adding texture to your walls, or adding windowsills, or adding flower boxes that really make the build come alive. I'm gonna whip together these 3 floors of interiors, and then we'll go through them a little bit more, and we'll talk a little bit more in depth. If you're watching this far in the video, please consider giving it a like, because it really, really, really does help out with the algorithm, and it helps out with my channel's growth. If you have anything you want to see me talk about more in the future when it comes to building theory, or texturizing, or anything along those lines, please comment down below, because I really do enjoy hearing from y'all. If you really, really enjoy this, and you enjoy my other shenanigans and my other videos here on the channel, really consider subscribing. Doesn't cost anything, and it really helps me out again. Little channels like me are always constantly fighting against the algorithm, and it can get really tiring and really taxing energy-wise, combating that giant YouTube algorithm. So every little bit helps, so if you want to help out, lend a hand. I really appreciate it. Bum-ba-da-bum-bum-bum-bum! Alright, enough of that. Alright, so here we are. The interior is completely finished. See, we've got a nice little information desk down here on the first floor with a few employees. We've got Community Underdevelopment Office, what do you want? Hen Solo and Luke Sky Clucker. And then here we've got the complaint department. You can see it's typical for a complaint department. Just a nice little joke for you. So if we go over this way, across the first floor, we're going to come into the elevator bay. And then we've got the block archive up on the second floor. Take a quick gander. Not much has changed up here, although I did add in a nice little interior. And then we've got a couple of archivists here to help people out. You see one of them's a little disgruntled. But Amelia Egghart here, I'd be glad to take care of you. We've got more than enough space down here for pretty much every block. And everybody's on the same page to keep it all nice and neat. We take this elevator up to the third floor. We come up to the community meeting room and lounge area. I really like these grandfather clock designs I found online. I couldn't find who the original person was that came up with them, but the same person that came up with these grandfather clocks came up with this bookshelf that I built over here on this wall. So shout out to them, whoever they are. We come over here across the desk. We've got some more little details up here. Another little bookshelf and some tables. We've got some beds over here, kind of like makeshift beds, or makeshift couches rather. And we've got a nice little music station here. Angel Wolfie was gracious enough to donate one of pretty much every music disc. I think the only one we're missing is Pigstep. That one's a bit difficult to find. I really enjoy how this came out, but you really can tell just from looking at this build how much of a difference adding little details and little accents can really make things pop. A lot of people get apprehensive or maybe feel down on themselves because they don't know how to detail out a build. It doesn't take a lot to make a cobblestone box, but how do you make that cobblestone box look good? You use texture in the outside walls. You frame your windows in a block that's maybe different from the rest of your build, and then you just go through all the floors and you add little flourishes and little details like bookshelves and little seating areas and little table areas, and you add in things like grandfather clocks. And then suddenly, you find out that you've impressed yourself, because all of a sudden, you're not just standing inside of a cobblestone box, you're standing inside of a home. Or you're standing inside of an office or a farm or something that feels complete. Because it's all about those little touches. It's those little nuances that really truly make a build pop. Either way, I really hope you folks liked this video. If you did, like I said earlier, consider giving it a like. If you want to see more of my crazy nonsense, consider subscribing. And if you have anything you want to see me talk more in depth about in the future, please consider commenting that down below, because I love getting suggestions from people and I love getting into new Minecraft topics and really educating people and educating myself along the way. But either way, I hope everyone has a really awesome day and a really beautiful tomorrow, and I will see you in the next video. Later, everybody.